Hey, guys. Altovise Pelzer here, your voice manager. I unmute the voice of women who are ready to speak up about what has kept her silent for way too long. Guys, this whole series has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm excited about the different women that I've been able to connect with. And listen, some of y'all may be saying, Altovise, how is it that you find all these, like, is there a bank that you go to where you just like withdraw amazing women? I know. But it's building communities and having conversations all over social media has been giving me the opportunity to connect with these amazing women who are doing some powerful things. So guess what? I connected with you over social media in some way in these internet streets. And so you probably have an amazing story too. Definitely reach out. We would love to feature you, if not on the podcast, on the blog, because guess what? It's about you making sure that you excel in life and business. With that being said, I'm excited about my guest for today. Hello, Angela. How are you?
Good, Altovise. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So I'm a little selfish with this episode, guys, because Angela is a food and travel blogger. Two things I love. So I'm a little selfish on this one, but I know that there's going to be some gems in here for you guys. So make sure that you stay tuned. Take notes. If you have to pause and go back and rewind because we hit an aha moment for you, then do so. And don't forget, please share it out because guess what? There's somebody else that may need this motivation as well. With that being said, Angela, let the studio audience know a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to dive into the topic.
Yeah, so basically, like I've been a solo traveler for the last 5 years, and before COVID, like I was traveling at least like somewhere like twice a year. So initially, like in college, I was like, okay, like I really want to be able to like go to places domestically and internationally, but I didn't really know how to do it. And I was thinking like, okay, like I'm a financially strapped student, I had to be on a budget, but I didn't really know how to navigate it. So I like took myself on little dates like around like, my school and then like my city. And I was like, okay, like I'm getting enough confidence. Now I can like start planning some trips for myself. So I went like out of state and then I went internationally. And then once I went internationally, I was like, okay, like I can basically do anything. And then COVID happened. I was like, oh crap. Like I left my job at the beginning of February 2020 because I was just over it. It wasn't going anywhere. So I left my job and then COVID happened. I'm like, what am I going to do? And then I just kind of like reached back into my mind, like after watching different webinars and everything, I was like, travel, like that's the thing I've been passionate about for so long. Like, how can I furrow that into something? So now like I've set up like my courses and everything to basically give people like what I didn't have, but those tools and that guidance to be able to plan like your own trips so you don't have to feel so shackled like, oh my god, like I can't do X, Y, and Z for these reasons. No, you actually can. You just have to take those baby steps and then just know like the systems and tools to use to get you to your dream destinations.
Okay, so what has been your favorite destination so far?
I mean, it's a toss up between Switzerland and Mexico.
Ooh, I never even thought about Switzerland. Ooh,
It's beautiful. It's absolutely breathtaking.
see? Oh my goodness. I told you guys I was a little biased on this episode, guys. Sorry. I love y'all though. Um, and so it's interesting that you said that because I know there were a lot of people who, COVID just kind of knocked the wind out of them. And, some of them had just started things, some of them were in the midst of things and got shut down. And so to hear that you were, in that moment, being able to say, you know what? I can take what I love and put it out in the world and still help people even in the midst of all this that's going on. That has been so significant. So I want to get some of the responses though, because I know for me, for the most part, when I traveled, it was to speak. So I was like, I would take a little extra time before and after, the event to be able to kind of wind down and things. But like, I haven't traveled for just me for a long time. So with that being said, and thinking about that, what has been that person that you've connected with and they've said, thank you so much. I needed this.
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. Before I even like did any of like course building, I actually had a friend who wanted to, because I'm a big tennis fan as well, and I travel a lot like for tennis tournaments. And one of my friends who lives in Canada, he was like, "Oh my God, like I want to be able to go to Wimbledon, which is like a super famous tournament in the UK." And he was like, "I really want to go, but I don't really know the steps to take." And he felt really intimidated by like camping out and like trying to go to London for the first time. So I actually like wrote out a full document of like my Wimbledon experience, like camping and all that stuff. And I actually walked him through the process that I went to. And I helped him like find Airbnbs, and I gave him like suggestions for things to do like around like the village area and like different parts of London. And he took all of that advice, planned out the trip, and he went for a whole week. And he came back and told me, "Oh my God, Angie, like all of your advice literally panned out so well, and I had the best time. Like I would never have gone on my own if you didn't like walk me through those steps."
Oh, that I love hearing stories like that, because it's like it's exposure. That one time experience. I know he was like, "Oh yeah, after this I can do anything. We're going to the moon. Listen, book me a flight wherever you."
Yeah, and it just like gave me so much joy because like I could just hear like the radiance like through like the text message, and I was just like, like this is what I love. Like, when people actually get to do like something that they're like burning inside to do, but they just have like these mindset blocks that keeps them like all chained up.
I love that. I love that. So now we know that this past year has been kind of crazy when it comes to travel. And so some people have been really turned away from traveling. I know for me, my oldest daughter actually moved, and went away to college in the middle of the pandemic. So, we traveled and I stayed with her and in Colorado for a week. And
Oh, awesome.
it was so pretty, minus the deer. It was so pretty, but we didn't see any bear, just in case you guys are like, "Oh my goodness, I hope she was safe." I didn't see any bears, but I did hear that they roam freely.
Yeah.
They roam pretty freely. So that experience, just being able to take that time and experience the whole thing and see the mountains, and it was breathtaking. I absolutely loved it. So I know that having those experiences really do mean something. And so now, if you could go anywhere in the world that you haven't already been, where would you go?
It's again like two toss-ups, so it would be either Australia or New Zealand.
Ooh, some other good choices. Listen, Australia, I'm looking because I'm like, they got some pretty dangerous animals, but they have some really nice looking animals and cute ones. And it's like,
And the food is so
oh
good
my
over
goodness.
there.
Oh, yes. Now, when you travel, do you go and like, are you like the blogger who has like the whole setup and you go into the restaurant and you're taking your pictures and things like that? Or are you just like going live and telling people, "Listen, do you see this? You need to have this."
Yeah, like usually like it's not a big setup, but I am in restaurants, and then like I try to get like the best pictures I can, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to try to super curate this. I'm just going to take the picture and then eat because the food just looks super good. So I'm just like, I can't be spending 10 minutes trying to get like the perfect picture. So I'm just like, okay, this looks good enough to me. Now it's time to eat.
That's perfect, because I know so many people are like, "Okay, I have something I'm passionate about and I want to blog." Because let's be honest, people for the longest time thought that blogs are obsolete and it's no reason for you to be a blogger. And I'm like, no, blogs are still a really big ticket for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
like, it is. Now, what made you want to do the blog as opposed to just posting things online?
Yeah, I wanted to have like a hybrid of both. So like, when you see the pictures online, like it's great to like have those pictures, but it's kind of nice to have a blog too, because like you can just really get detailed with like so many things, and like those articles can live on for a long time. So it's kind of nice to have like a mix of like, okay, like the long form stuff for people that want to like read more about like a restaurant or like a specific area. And then you have like the social media, which is kind of like bite-sized things like people can take.
I love that. I love that. And I know like Instagram just came up with, I think it's guides.
I love guides. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I might have to play around with that. I've seen that. Okay. And because for me, blogging has been an opportunity for me to go ahead and kind of like highlight other people's voices. So our blog, we post features from different people and guest posts and things like that. And I was like, I've been doing it for a while now. And I'm like, this actually could be a business. I never
Yeah,
looked at it that way.
definitely.
Never looked at it that way. Okay, so we talked about, that piece when it comes to you going ahead and doing the blog, but have you literally ever come up against some moments where it was just like, you know what? You were torn. Do you really want to do this blog or do you want to go and do something else?
Yeah, that's something I've like kind of grappled with like over the last couple months because for like the last like let's say like 3-4 years I was just doing Instagram. I wasn't really thinking about like monetizing it. I just wanted to have like something where I was like sharing my experiences and like taking people along with me on the ride. But yeah, like I just think it's like a really like great opportunity because I actually really love to write. So it's kind of nice to just like have like the blog and then be able to just like freely express like all like my different opinions and everything about where I go.
Ooh, I love it. Have you done any speaking just yet?
No, I haven't done any speaking because like I'm still like trying to like get like really comfortable like in front of like large people and even just doing video, even though I'm doing it more on Instagram, it's still kind of like like I have to like hype myself up for a little bit before I like get on video. But yeah, like I would love to be able to do some speaking like in the future.
Oh, I know people would love to hear it because, like I said, again, people want to blog, but they're kind of like standing back going, is this really a thing that I can use? Especially for businesses, as entrepreneurs, having a blog on your, and this is just a little insight, guys, having a blog on your website does give you some extra boost when it comes to the SEO. Now, if you
Definitely.
ask me to break that down, I can't. I just know that it gives it a boost.
That I could break down, but it would take a while. There's like just so many like bits and pieces to it all. It's intense, but it really does pay a lot of dividends.
Exactly, exactly. So all of you that have been saying, you know what, I want to dabble in a little blogging, yeah, you go ahead, get started. So with that being said, though, too, Angela, like what was the first thing that you did when you decided that you wanted to blog? What did you just go ahead and get a site or did you kind of test some things out first?
Yeah, so like I've actually, because I'm doing a master's degree right now, and part of the courses, like two of the courses, we actually had to do blog posts. So I actually got like some practice, like, I'm doing the embed links and like videos and kind of like how I want to structure it and how like I wanted my voice to be in that. So that was kind of like a nice precursor for like my actual blog like for my business.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Being able to test it out is really a great way for you to say, okay, is it something I want to do? Can I stay consistent with it? And I know that's going to be a question that the Speakeasy podcast listeners, I hear you. I know one of the questions is going to be, how consistent do I have to be when doing a blog? Like, do I have to do a blog every day? Do I have to do it every week? Like, what does that timeline look for you?
Yeah, like I think like kind of like in the beginning, like you want to try and like as consistent as you can, and you want to get like a good amount of like posts in too. So probably I would say like at least like a few times a week, so you kind of have like a little collection of like articles that people can look at. And then like as time goes on, then you can like start like tapering down and like focusing on other things. But initially, like you just want to have like that collection for people to at least get an idea of like what they're going to expect like on the blog type thing.
And so all of those who are closest to you, when they think about when they think about you as a blogger, were they like, yes, let's go? Or were they like, is that even a thing?
Yeah, like all of my friends have been like so supportive they're the reason why I actually set up like two Instagram accounts, because before I would have like my travel and food stuff on one account, and they're like, Angie, like you take such good food pictures too, like why don't you kind of separate the two out and just have like two feeds going for your different material? I was like, okay. So then I like did the travel account, and then like Eats with Angie, which is the food account. So then I like put all my food pictures there. So people have like kind of been just seeing my blogging over the last few years. It's just been more visual than just the actual long form.
Oh, I love that. I know that a couple of the platforms give us that option, so that is so significant. Now, I have to ask this question as from blogger to blogger. When it came to saying, I want this to be something I do and get paid for, what was your mindset at that point? Because I know that uh, when it comes to blogging, even when we think about the travel piece, everybody talks about, being able to pay in travel and things like that, but there are options to get paid in travel. And
Right.
so speak to that a little bit as well.
Yeah, like I think that's always something you have to kind of tread on lightly, because a lot of people think like, okay, the best gateway I have to getting paid for travel is to be like an influencer and work with brands, which is great, but especially with COVID, like you really can't depend on like those brands, like, for those big payouts and everything. You kind of have to have something that's your own and that you can make money off of like your own. So for me, like I have my courses, so that's my own property and I can make like, the full income from that. Or like if you do ebooks or something, and it's great too, because if you have those like actual products of your own, then when you're going to brand, you could be like, hey, like, I have this engaged audience, but then I also like teach courses on this to equip people with like, whatever your expertise is. So you can kind of use that as like a leveraging tool and just give yourself like kind of more clout, instead of just being like, okay, like I just have like a media kit and like maybe like a few other things.
Oh, yeah, I think that that's so smart because we always, talk about, oh, people are immediately want to go into how can I monetize it? How can I get paid for it? And I go, well, I was doing it for quite some time and didn't even go that route, but there are some options.
Yeah,
There are many options out there. It's researching the ones that are going to be best for you, that
definitely.
part. I love this. SpeakEasy Podcast listeners, I know that some of you have been, writing in and asking questions when it comes to blogging, when it comes to um, taking what you love and being able to talk more about what it is that you love, not just what you do. And man, I always have to go back and say, okay, do it, try it,
Definitely.
try
Yeah,
it.
like you never know until you try it, because if you just keep staying back, then you don't know like what potential you're missing out on, like whether it's business, whether it's travel, like whether it's anything. You have to take that first step to like, get and reap those like rewards and benefits that you want to achieve.
Now we got to hit on this last point before we get finished. And it's because it's the whole being a solo traveler. Can we just be honest? As women, we are so scared to travel by ourselves. We're scared to go to the movies by ourselves. We're like everything for some good reasons and some kind of scary reasons at times. But being a solo traveler, like, oh my goodness, that it stands out because you're like you're not scared. You're not, what did that feel like? What did it look like? And I I've had people say to me, even when I travel to do different events, you're not taking somebody with you. You're not like, no, I'm just gonna go get on the flight. And so how has that experience been for you with not only the like traveling locally, but going ahead and traveling internationally? How has that experience been for you traveling alone?
Yeah, I mean, like the first like, domestic experience, like wasn't that bad because I was just like, okay, like I'm in the US, that's fine. But going to London for the first time, I was like, okay, I really don't know like what's going on. I don't know how to get like from the airport to like where I need to, where like my accommodation is. I don't know how the tube works. I don't know how the exchange rates work. I don't know how anything works. But I was just like, okay, like I'm here, like I did it, I made it here. So after I took like a nap like that first night, within a day, I just adapted to the environment and everything. And then I was off and running. So it's just kind of like the case, like you just have to like take a moment, pause, and then just like adapt to the environment and just kind of be with flow. And also you don't want to make it like really apparent that you're super lost. Like you kind of want to be casual about it. So you could be lost as all hell, but you just want to kind of be like, okay, like, yeah, like I'm walking around like everyone else and I'm not a tourist. Like I'm not like, you know, a foreigner. I'm just like everyone else here.
No reason to be alarmed. I'm good. Oh, good.
And then after you have that like first experience, like for me, now that I go back like to London, I went to Mexico City, I went to Switzerland. I was just like, got this. Like I just did the little research here and there, like for the places, and I was like, I got this.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that because that is always a question in the back of people's mind. Like, okay, if I go, am I going to know anybody there? Or, can I connect with somebody there? Like, have you connected with people when you travel by yourself that you've stayed connected to?
Yeah, like it's actually really crazy. A lot of my friends I've actually met through Twitter, and then now we all travel together. And then also, it's the case like when I get to places, like especially for tennis tournaments, then I meet like other tennis fans, and then like we all like stay connected through like Twitter or WhatsApp. So it's just like really easy, kind of like as you just keep like going places, like you start to come out of your shell a little bit more, and then you just get more comfortable just like chilling with people because everyone's there just like super relaxed and just like enjoying the city. So it's just really, really nice to kind of like have like-minded people that are like super into travel and just like having a good time. So it just naturally makes you like relax a lot more.
I love that because we get to learn more about other people and connect
Yeah.
in such a great way, especially when you have some things in common. Like when you have things in food, people, let's go. Most of us have that in common, except for, some of the people that eat bugs. I really think we have too much in common.
Okay, like there are some bugs that are really delicious. They just have to be cooked
Are
right.
you serious? Wait. In the podcast. Wait. We can't. Angela, what bugs have you eaten? Oh my
I'm
God.
trying I'm trying to think. So I've eaten like crickets. So I've had it in tacos and I've had it just as it is too. And they're like lightly seasoned or like have like a little bit of spice in them too. And with the tacos, like I had it over guacamole, absolutely delicious. And then I've also had like beef tongue too. So I'm just like, okay, like as long as like the food is like presented in a way that's like approachable and I know like what the food is, I'm like, okay, like you can just give it to me. And if it's seasoned really well too, I'm just like, okay. So when I was eating the insects, like it was almost kind of like a nutty type flavor with like a little bit of like crunch. So it was delicious. It was magical. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And I mean, we always hear about it that, in other countries, certain things are like delicacies. And even here in the US, there's certain things that are like people eat turtle soup. And I guess because I'm a Ninja Turtle fan, I don't know. It just doesn't translate well for me that I would have turtle soup. But it's a thing. And so, wow, I've been big on trying new things, but I don't know if I could do it. I
Because
would be
like
so nervous.
I I was waiting outside of Frida's house, Frida Kahlo's museum in Mexico City. And yeah, there was like a vendor and he was like selling the like crickets, like, you know, I think for like a couple pesos or whatever. And yeah, like I was just like eating those on the side, like while I was waiting in line. So yeah, it's
I love
normal.
it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay. SpeakEasy Podcast listeners, you heard it here. Listen, I think I may have to try a cricket. I won't tell my kids because I don't know how they feel about that. I may sneak some in and um I'll let you guys know how it works. How it turns out. Oh, that I love that. Oh my
I
goodness.
promise it's gonna be good.
This has been amazing. Because literally I was like, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. Certain foods. I'm like, do I want you to tell me what it was? Do I not want you to tell me what it was?
And I'm also that kind of friend too. Like basically because I eat any kind of food, that's what I do for my friends too. I'm like, okay, like you're gonna try this. Like I know
Oh, so basically you're just pushing everybody off the cliff. That's what we're doing.
oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we are.
Okay. So basically you're just pushing everybody off the cliff. I get it. I understand.
But with love.
But with love. Okay. This has been a great episode. Oh my goodness, Angela. Now I'm going to be trying crickets. This will be, the things that I do. Let everybody know where they can find your blog and how they can connect with you online. Because, again, foodies around the world, listen in. This may be something that you're interested in, or you're interested in connecting with Angela because you're saying, you know what, it's time for me to travel and I need some help. So let them know how they can connect.